My name is Brooke Ellison. I'm 29 years old, and the first time I realized my wedding wasn't mine anymore, it happened in a shared folder with a neat file name and a last edited timestamp. I had always believed betrayal came with dramatic clues: lipstick on a collar, a late night call, a friend avoiding your eyes. I didn't expect betrayal to look like a Word document titled Vows _final_final, sitting beside the catering contract and the seating chart. I found it on a Wednesday evening, 2 weeks before my wedding, while I was doing the boring work that makes big days possible: vendor confirmations, payment schedules, the kind of logistics you can't outsource if you want to sleep at night. My fiancé, Ryan, handled the big picture, which in his vocabulary meant showing up for tastings and smiling for engagement photos. I handled everything else. I didn't mind. I'm the organized one. I like lists. I like calendars. I like knowing where the money goes and why. I work in finance in Chicago, the kind of role where you learn that emotions are real but receipts are louder. Ryan liked romance. Ryan liked speeches. Ryan liked the idea of our wedding more than the work of building our marriage. I didn't see it as a warning. I saw it as balance. Then I opened the vows document. The first lines felt normal. Thank you. Destiny. The day we met. The usual language people borrow when they want to sound sincere. Then the name appeared. Not mine, a different name, one I recognized. The letters stayed on the screen like a bruise. Mia, Mia Calloway, my maid of honor, my best friend since college, the woman who helped me pick my dress and held my hand during my last breakup and spent Sunday mornings in my kitchen drinking coffee like she lived there. The document wasn't a draft where Ryan forgot to update a placeholder. It was specific. A story about a night in Austin during a work conference. A line about a certain laugh that pulled him back from the edge. A promise about building a life with you, Mia, full of details no one writes without experience. My hands went cold. My first instinct was denial. A brain reflex, the kind that tries to protect you by reshaping reality into something safer. I scrolled up, looking for an explanation. A joke, a template, anything. The metadata on the side panel showed edits. Edited by Ryan Harper. Edited by Mia Calloway. My stomach turned. The betrayal wasn't only in the words, it was in the collaboration. My best friend and my fiancé had been working together on vows that weren't meant for me. I stared at the screen long enough for my eyes to burn. Then I did the one thing I always do when my emotions start lying to me. I gathered data. I opened the document version history. The first version was created 3 months ago. The wedding planning had been in full swing. The venue deposit had cleared. My mother had booked flights. Invitations had gone out. The earliest version included my name in the greeting, and then Mia's name in every promise. Later versions improved the structure. Stronger lines, cleaner rhythm, more intimacy, more certainty. Mia's edits were visible in a different color. She tightened phrases. She added sensory details. She deleted anything that sounded vague. She wrote like someone protecting a love story. I sat back in my chair and felt my pulse in my throat. My phone buzzed on the desk. A notification from our wedding planning group chat. Mia, can't wait for dress pickup tomorrow. You're going to look unreal, unreal. That word felt like the entire situation. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. An impulse to message, to demand, to explode. I didn't. I took screenshots, every page, every version, every edit marker, every timestamp, every collaborator line. Then I saved them into a folder called Evidence and backed it up to a drive Ryan didn't have access to. That was the moment I understood what kind of betrayal this was. Not impulsive, not accidental, strategic. A secret relationship threaded into the center of my wedding while I paid vendors and smiled for engagement photos. I closed my laptop and sat in silence until the city noise outside my apartment started sounding normal again. I met Ryan 2 years earlier at a charity gala hosted by my firm. He was charming in the way some men are charming when they need people to like them. He remembered names. He laughed at the right moments. He touched my elbow when he guided me through a crowd. He made me feel like the most interesting person in the room. Mia loved him immediately. She claimed it was because he matched my energy. In hindsight, it was because he matched hers. Ryan and Mia shared a certain kind of confidence, the kind that assumes life will arrange itself around them. They both believe in big gestures. They both believe in getting what they want without having to admit how much they want it. I ignored early discomfort because it looked small. Mia texting Ryan about music playlists. Ryan sending Mia memes. Mia teasing Ryan about how lucky he was. The three of us spending weekends together, brunches and errands, because Mia had always been part of my life, and Ryan stepped into that space as if it belonged to him. Then the engagement happened. Ryan proposed at Navy Pier with a photographer hidden behind a column. I cried. Mia cried. Everyone applauded. It was perfect in the way social media loves. Afterward, Mia held my face in her hands and insisted she would make my wedding perfect. Perfect. That word became her project. She volunteered for everything. She offered to manage vendor calls. She handled my bachelorette weekend planning. She insisted on being present for every appointment. I thought she was supportive. I didn't realize she was collecting access. Passwords, logins, schedule details, vendor contacts, my calendar. She wasn't only helping plan my wedding. She was building a map of my life. The next day, I went to work and acted normal. It was difficult. My body wanted to broadcast the truth. My stomach stayed tight. My hands felt restless. My face felt too expressive. I forced myself into routine. Emails, meetings, numbers, reports. Numbers are soothing. Numbers don't betray you. People do. At lunch, I contacted my therapist and booked an emergency session. Not because I needed permission to leave, because I needed a place to unload the shock without turning it into a mess I couldn't control. I also contacted the wedding venue. I didn't cancel anything yet. I didn't accuse anyone yet. I requested information, cancellation policy, transfer policy, who had authority to make changes. The coordinator responded politely. Changes required the bride or groom, confirmed through the original email thread. Good. I checked my inbox. Ryan had been copied on everything. Mia was also copied on everything because she insisted on being my right hand. I created a new email thread with the coordinator and removed Mia. I framed it as a simplification. Fewer emails, fewer mistakes. Just the couple. The coordinator agreed. That was my first quiet move. Then I contacted the photographer and removed Mia from that thread too. Then the florist, then the caterer, then the band. Each call required calm. Each call required repetition. Each call required me to remain composed while my heart tried to break in the background. I put everything into a spreadsheet. Vendor, deposit, balance, refund policy, payment method. If betrayal tries to turn you into chaos, structure is the antidote. That evening, Ryan arrived at my apartment with takeout and a smile, the same smile he used on engagement photos. I watched him like a stranger. He placed the bag on the counter and leaned in for a kiss. My body didn't respond. His eyebrows lifted slightly. Long day, he noted. I nodded. He launched into a story about work, about a client who was annoying, about traffic, about how excited he was for the wedding weekend. The words sounded rehearsed. He didn't look guilty. He looked comfortable. Comfortable is what happens when someone believes you will never know. I waited until he went to shower. Then I opened his laptop, which he left on the couch like nothing in his life required privacy from me. I didn't need to guess his password. He used the same one for everything, the kind of lazy confidence that assumes no consequences. I searched his email for Mia's name. The first result made my throat tighten. A hotel confirmation. A weekend in Austin, booked last month. 2 rooms, one under Ryan's name, one under Mia's. Same dates. A message thread followed, full of plans, dinner reservations, inside jokes, references to finally having time without Brooke's planning chaos. Planning chaos. My planning had been funding his secret. I scrolled further and found receipts, gifts, flights, rides, a bracelet Mia had worn to my dress fitting. Ryan paid for it. I found messages that crossed lines months ago. I didn't read everything. I didn't need to. My brain had enough. I took screenshots again. Then I closed the laptop and waited. When Ryan returned from the shower, hair damp and relaxed, he noticed my posture. Something wrong, he noted. I placed my phone on the table and opened the screenshots of the vows document. I angled the screen toward him. His face changed in 2 seconds. First confusion, then recognition, then a blank expression that tried to turn into innocence. "Where did you get that?" he pressed. The question hit me like a small insult, not because he didn't know, because he tried to reposition me as the problem for looking. My voice stayed steady. The shared drive. He stared at the screen, then looked away. "That's not what it looks like," he pushed out. I watched him carefully. People always use that phrase when the truth is exactly what it looks like. The document includes Mia's name, I noted. The version history includes both of you. The edits include both of you. He shifted in place, then tried a softer approach. "It started as a joke," he pressed. "Something we worked on for fun. You know Mia. She's dramatic, dramatic." He tried to make her the problem, as if that would make him less guilty. My throat stayed tight, but my brain stayed clear. "The hotel receipts aren't jokes," I noted. His eyes snapped back. "You went through my email." "Yes," I noted. He stared like he expected me to apologize. I didn't. The silence stretched. Then he tried the next tactic. "We were going to tell you," he pressed. "Tell me." Like I was a meeting he needed to schedule. My chest burned. "Tell me what?" I noted. "That you wrote vows for my best friend while planning to marry me." He opened his mouth, then closed it. His jaw tightened. "Mia and I, it's complicated." Complicated. Another word that hides truth. I stood up slowly. My legs felt unsteady, but my decision felt solid. "I won't marry you," I noted. Ryan's face hardened. "You can't just cancel a wedding 2 weeks out," he pressed. "Do you know how much money is on the line?" Money on the line. He finally spoke the language he cared about. I looked at him and felt a strange calm. "I know exactly how much money is on the line," I noted. "I paid most of it." His eyes flicked. "I covered the venue deposit. I covered the catering deposit. I covered the photographer deposit. I covered most of the honeymoon." Ryan's mouth tightened. "You're being emotional." Emotional. Another tactic. I moved toward the bedroom and pulled my suitcase from the closet. Not to leave my apartment, but to change my environment. I needed motion. Motion keeps you from freezing. Ryan followed. "You're making a mistake," he pressed. "Mia didn't mean—" "Mia." The name landed again. I turned. "Do not use her name like she is a side detail," I noted. "She was my best friend." Ryan's face twisted into frustration. "Brooke, think. We can work this out. This is a rough patch." Rough patch. He framed betrayal like a weather forecast. I walked to the front door and opened it. "Leave," I noted. His eyes widened. "This is my apartment too." It wasn't. His name wasn't on the lease. He spent weekends here and acted like that created ownership. "No, it isn't," I noted. "Leave." He looked at me for a long moment, then reached for his jacket with sharp movements. "You'll regret this," he pressed. He left. The door closed. My body started shaking. I slid down the wall and sat on the floor with my hands over my face. I didn't cry for him. I cried for the version of my life I had believed in. The next morning, Mia showed up for dress pickup. Her car pulled into my parking lot like nothing had changed. She carried a garment bag and coffee, the way she always did when she wanted to look thoughtful. She knocked twice, then tried my doorknob, then knocked again. I didn't open the door immediately. I watched through the peephole. Mia looked polished, hair styled, makeup soft, the face of a supportive friend. Then her phone buzzed. Her smile faltered. She looked down at the screen, and her expression tightened. Ryan had informed her. The secret was no longer controlled. I opened the door and stepped into the hallway, keeping distance. Mia's eyes widened, as if she was surprised to see me alive. "Brooke," she began, voice soft. I didn't let the sound hook me. "I saw the Vows document," I noted. Her face shifted, a flash of fear, then defense, then a forced laugh that sounded wrong. That file. It was stupid. It was stupid. She tried to shrink it. I kept my tone even. The hotel receipts weren't stupid, I noted. Her cheeks drained of color. "You went through his email," she pushed out. "The same script. Attack the method to avoid the truth." I didn't engage. "How long?" I noted. Mia swallowed. Her eyes glistened. "It wasn't like that at first." At first. A timeline admissions always start with that phrase. Mia stepped closer and lowered her voice. Ryan felt unseen. "You were always planning, always working. He needed someone who. Someone who." Her mouth tightened, then she tried again. "I never wanted to hurt you." Hurt, as if intention mattered more than actions. My voice stayed flat. "You wrote vows with him," I noted. "You edited his promises to you. You helped him practice betrayal." Mia's eyes filled with tears. "I love him." There it was, the truth without decoration. My stomach turned, and then settled into a hard, quiet acceptance. "You love him," I noted, while standing in my hallway holding my wedding dress. Mia's tears fell. Her hand reached toward my arm like she expected me to comfort her. I stepped back. "Do not touch me," I noted. Her hand froze in the air. "Brooke, please. You're my sister." Sister. The word felt like theft. "No," I noted. "You were my friend. Friends don't do this." Mia's mouth trembled. "I made a mistake." Mistake? Mistakes are forgotten keys and missed turns, not months of lying. I shifted my gaze to the garment bag. "Give me the dress," I noted. Mia hesitated, then extended it like she was handing over a body. I took it and stepped back. Then I spoke the line I had been holding inside my chest all night. "The wedding is canceled," I noted. "No more contact." Mia's face crumpled. "I can't lose you too. Too." That word implied she had already lost something else. Ryan. The betrayal had consequences even for her. "I didn't care. You chose your loss," I noted. Then I closed the door. My hands shook again, but my mind felt sharper. Canceling a wedding isn't romantic. It is administrative warfare. The first call went to the venue. I provided my name, my contract number, and a simple statement. "The wedding is canceled due to a breach of trust and safety concerns, and all communications must go through me only." The coordinator responded with professionalism and requested a cancellation email in writing. I sent it. The coordinator confirmed the non-refundable deposit. I expected that. I didn't mourn the deposit. I mourned the time. Then I contacted the caterer, then the photographer, then the florist, then the band. Each call required calm. Each call required repetition. Each call required me to remain composed while my heart tried to break in the background. I put everything into a spreadsheet: vendor, deposit, balance, refund policy, payment method. If betrayal tries to turn you into chaos, structure is the antidote. Ryan attempted to call me 30 minutes after I canceled the venue. I didn't answer. He sent a text. "We need to talk. You're making this bigger than it is." Bigger than it is. The words felt almost funny. Two people wrote vows to each other and planned a wedding to me, and he wanted it smaller. I blocked his number. Mia attempted to call an hour later from a different number. I blocked that too. Then I contacted my credit card company and requested new numbers. Not because I feared immediate fraud, but because I no longer trusted anyone who had access to my wedding accounts. I changed every password that night. The hardest part wasn't vendors. The hardest part was my family. My mother had already booked flights. My father had already taken time off. My grandparents were excited. My aunt had ordered a custom cake topper. The wedding had become a shared family event, a story everyone was already telling. I called my mother first. She answered on the first ring, voice bright. 2 weeks, honey. I'm so excited. I inhaled slowly. The wedding isn't happening, I noted. Silence. Then a sharp inhale. What? The single word sounded like a slap. Ryan and Mia were having an affair, I noted. My mother's voice rose immediately. That's impossible. Mia would never. Ryan adores you. Adoration is easy when you're lying. I kept my voice steady. I have proof, I noted. My mother's tone shifted into anger. You must have misunderstood. You always jump to conclusions. Jump to conclusions? Another family script? Blame my perception. I felt heat behind my eyes, but I stayed calm. The venue cancellation email is already sent, I noted. It's done. My mother's voice sharpened. Do you know how embarrassing this is? People already bought outfits. Embarrassing. Not devastated for me, embarrassed for her. I swallowed hard. I need you to support me, I noted. Not your image. My mother scoffed. Support you by throwing away thousands of dollars because of a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. My chest tightened. This isn't about money, I noted. It's about betrayal. My mother pushed harder. You can fix it. Men make mistakes. Weddings are stressful. Just breathe and just breathe. She tried to coach me back into compliance. No, I noted. I'm done. I ended the call. My hands shook again. My stomach twisted. Then I contacted my father. He responded with a heavy sigh, like my crisis was an inconvenience. You're sure? He pressed. Yes, I noted. He paused. Mia's a good girl, he pressed. Ryan's a good man. This doesn't add up. Good. The word that protects predators. I felt my jaw tighten. It adds up, I noted. It's documented. He exhaled, annoyed. You're making your life harder. Harder. That was the entire pattern of my upbringing. Keep peace, keep appearances, keep the family narrative stable, even if it costs you your dignity. I ended that call too. Then I sat on my couch and stared at the blank TV screen and realized I might lose my family's comfort, along with my fiancé and best friend. That realization hurt. It also clarified something. Comfort that requires self-betrayal is not comfort. Ryan didn't accept the boundary. He showed up at my apartment building 3 days later. The front desk contacted me. A man claimed to be my fiancé with an urgent message. I requested they deny access. Ryan waited outside. I saw him from my window, standing with his hands in his coat pockets like a man posing for a scene. My phone buzzed with a new number. You're ruining everything, Ryan typed. Everything, meaning his plan. I didn't respond. An hour later, Mia arrived too. They stood near the building entrance together, and the sight made my stomach drop. They weren't ashamed. They were aligned. Ryan looked up at my window and waved. My hands went cold. I contacted building security and reported unwanted visitors. The building's policy was clear. Security arrived and escorted them away. Ryan's face stayed angry. Mia's face stayed wet with tears. The tears didn't move me, because I understood what those tears were. They were regret for consequences, not regret for choices. A week before the original wedding date, the betrayal went public. Not because I posted anything, because Mia and Ryan needed a new narrative. A mutual friend texted me a screenshot from social media. A photo of Mia and Ryan at a rooftop bar, his hand on her waist, her head tilted toward him like she had been waiting for the world to approve. Caption: sometimes the heart chooses what it chooses. My throat tightened. They didn't hide. They reframed. They positioned their betrayal as destiny. And the comments supported it. So happy for you. Love wins. Finally. Finally. The word that confirmed the ugliest part. People suspected. People knew. People watched me plan my wedding like entertainment. I felt nauseated. Then I felt something else. A clean anger. Not chaos, not screaming. Clarity. I opened my laptop and drafted a single post. I didn't mention every detail. I didn't need to. I didn't want to turn my life into a spectacle. I wrote one paragraph. The wedding is canceled. I discovered documented evidence of an affair between my fiancé and my maid of honor, including a vow draft addressed to her. I'm safe. I'm focusing on healing. Please respect my privacy. Then I posted it and turned off notifications. My phone buzzed nonstop for hours. I didn't read it. I went for a walk along the lakefront, letting cold air burn my lungs and remind me that my body still belonged to me. The legal part arrived quietly. My credit card statement posted and showed new charges: a tux rental pickup, additional honeymoon hotel fees, and a large payment to the band. The payment method was my card, not mine. My card had been stored in the band's portal from earlier payments. Ryan had access to the shared wedding account email. Mia had access too. They weren't only betraying me emotionally. They were trying to take what they could on the way out. I contacted each vendor. I provided my cancellation email, the timeline, and a statement that any charges after the cancellation were unauthorized. Some vendors responded quickly and refunded. One refused, claiming the groom had authority. Authority. The word that turns women into background in their own contracts. I forwarded the contract signature page. My signature was the primary. Ryan's name was secondary. The vendor still resisted until I mentioned dispute and fraud report. The refund arrived the next day. I filed a police report anyway. Not because I expected dramatic arrests, because reports build paper trails, and paper trails protect future versions of you. I also filed a fraud claim through my credit card company and replaced the card again. 2 days before the original wedding date, my mother called again, voice softer this time. She had seen the social media photo. Her tone carried a new urgency. People are talking. Of course they were. My mother's next phrase confirmed what she cared about. You need to come home. We need to present a united front. United front. Her front, not mine. I felt exhaustion settle in my bones. I'm not presenting anything, I noted. My mother's voice rose. You're humiliating yourself by airing this. I didn't air it, I noted. They posted their photo. They chose publicity. My mother paused. Then she tried a different angle. Mia's mother called me. She's devastated. She wants to meet and talk like adults. Like adults. My mother always uses adulthood as a weapon, as if my boundaries are childish tantrums. I kept my voice steady. No meetings, I noted. My mother sighed dramatically. Brooke, you'll regret being so harsh. Harsh? Another inversion. Betrayal becomes romance. Boundaries become cruelty. I ended the call again. Then I turned off my phone. The original wedding day arrived like a ghost. I didn't wake up early for hair and makeup. I didn't step into a white dress. I woke up in my apartment with Milo, my dog, curled against my legs, and I let the morning be quiet. Leah, my coworker friend Leah from my office, texted me a simple note. Proud of you. Breakfast on me. I accepted. We met at a small diner with cracked vinyl booths. I wore jeans and a sweater. No makeup, no performance. I felt raw, but I also felt strangely lighter. Because I wasn't